So number two, in what ways does Afrofuturism envision alternative realities or futures that reflect on the multiplicity of worlds, in quote, pluriverse? So if you look at Afrofuturism as an aesthetic concept that conjures speculative, mythical, and otherworldly visions from everyday Black African experience, its histories and beyond, it becomes, so to say, a platform that conjures aspects of Black Atlantic traditions, its civilizations and aesthetic philosophies, and also their transitions and culmination in the West, through the Middle Passage, as we all know. And then there are manifestations in diasporic and contemporary cultural paradigms, all of which creates infinite permutations for the imagination of multiple interconnected world transcending universes, spaces, and temporalities, to envision alternative African and Black realities or future. So Afrofuturism allows us to articulate our dreams, visions, aspirations, histories, tradition, and spirituality in numerous ways. It culminates into very spectacular and interesting visual forms. For instance, in the Yoruba mythology, there are three realms of existence: the wall of the living, which is the human wall, the ancestral wall, and the unborn wall. As the Nobel laureate, Professor Wale Soyinka, exemplifies, and in one of his interviews, he says, this belief enables us to cope with the undesirable element aspect of permanent unconsciousness. So one cannot replicate the essence of transitions from one realm to another. It's an embodiment of multiple worlds in our imaginations, and it allows us to move conceptually and spiritually into deeper realms of thought and actions. Musicians do that, artists do that, creative thinkers do that, scientists do that, to be able to embody all these multiple worlds. One has to be open to the idea of transcendence, from one realm of existence to another, to be able to have a sort of a relational, embodied experience. So the fourth question: how does Afrofuturistic imagination redefines cultural, technological, and spiritual dimension, particularly with the intersection of climate justice within a pluriversal framework? So Afrofuturists, like me, are visionaries who believe that an ecologically viable future lies in the transversal encouragement of modalities from the realms of interdisciplinary, cross-cultural, and connective environmental practice that seeks to be transformative and responsive to our sociocultural demands, economic deficits, and most importantly, ecological emergencies of a precarious times. So Afrofuturistic or Afrofuturist imagination explores indigenous forms of indigenous environmentalism, and cultural as well as technical progress. Like for instance, in the Igbo or Ifikibibio cosmology, the word Ibia or Ndibia is a man or a woman who has vast knowledge of nature, ecology, and spirituality. They are often seen as messengers of indigenous and ancestral wisdom. They are also seen as healers, cleansers, diviners, warriors, visionaries, intercessors, environmentalists, environmental activists, and ecological stewards. And they are also seen as prophets or prophetess within the realms of spiritual churches. So I think there is a very interesting